I grew up between Southern California, Northwest Washington, Deep East Texas. And about 19, I came to Nevada. My childhood was interesting. It was rocky. I had addict parents, alcoholic and methamphetamine. And when I was about 3 years old, I remember my dad, I asked him, I said, Dad, is Batman real? He said, no. I said, Dad, is Superman real? He said, no. I said, Dad, is Jesus real? And he said, yes, baby, Jesus is real. When I was about 14 years old, my mom just kind of gave up everything. It was like, I don't have control over her anymore. It is what it is. I started drinking, smoking weed, having sex, and partying a lot, running away. And when I was 15, I was hitchhiking home and I got picked up by a car full of men who took me 2.5 hours south of where I wanted to go. I was so blackout drunk in the car, and I woke up and there was a sign that said, welcome to Tacoma. That started a 3-month stint of being human trafficked. I got picked up by a cop. He arrested me. I wouldn't talk, so they arrested me for prostitution at 15 years old in Tacoma, Washington. My mom was very angry. She said I was dead to her. She sent me to Hawaii to live with my meth-addicted stripper sister, which was like a whole nother thing, which opened up a world of violence for me. I came home, met my kid's dad, moved in with him immediately at 16 years old, pregnant at 17. I didn't want to admit that I had gone down the same path as my mom and my dad. Very lonely, very angry, pushed everybody away. And I knew there was something missing. And I still talked to God, but I never listened. And I didn't understand what that meant. I met a friend at work, and she would talk about Jesus all the time, and it would just make me smile. And she would share her testimony, and she had a pretty dark one. And I didn't understand why she had all this joy, yet she was so scarred and so hurt. And it was like, I wanted that joy. And I started going to church. 3 women from my church said that they were going to go on this thing called an encounter, and they made it sound like it was a women's Christian retreat. And I was like, yeah, totally. That sounds great. Let's go do that. Let's go be together and worship Jesus. That sounds fun. And then when we got there, they said they were going to split us up. And I was like, I'm going home. I was like, I'm not going to be with a bunch of strangers. My social anxiety was so high, I didn't want to do anything like that. And at that point in time in my life, my marriage was disintegrating. I had suicidal children. I was suicidal. Sorry. I was terrified of people knowing things about me that I didn't tell anybody. And then that first night happened, and I never experienced that kind of kindness from a human being before. And it softened my heart so much. And God never left my side. And He pulled me out of every bad situation and brought me this beautiful family and brought me to this ministry that I didn't know you could love people like that. This ministry has it's more than just an event on a weekend. It's taught me what everyday life is supposed to look like. I joined my church membership and I joined serve teams, and my children went from this suicidal depression, and I'm watching all my children fall in love with Jesus one by one. My husband and I were released from alcoholism. It brought God into my home is what it did. It was the best thing that could have ever happened for my family. Just go and have a weekend away with God and let your eyes be opened.
There's a moment in everyone's life where we have to make a decision to choose Christ, choose our other path, choose the world. And in this weekend, you're going to choose Christ at a level that I don't think you've ever experienced.
The video that you just saw is one of thousands that we've seen and heard come through the ministry, and it's why we do what we do.
10 years ago, I signed up for that encounter, and it changed my life. So check us out at encounternv.com.